Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. The ships kept getting closer. Luo Feng, don't risk the danger. Don't lose your mind because of the treasure. Barbata said urgently. This is the outer region wars. Even though you may get treasures through the dangers, whether it's this enemy before you or the automaton enemy from the past, your scanner is no match for theirs, you are disadvantaged. If you take the risk, you may very likely lose your life. Luo Feng clearly felt the distance get closer. 56.39 million kilometer, 50. As it got closer, the calling got stronger too. If his willpower wasn't strong enough, his body would have simply jumped out on its own and rushed towards the treasure. Leave? Luo Feng gritted his teeth and ordered. We leave immediately, head towards the travel point. Yes. Barbata said excitedly. The ship that was stopped in the air fiercely accelerated, quickly reaching sub-light speed and flying above the main continent. This scene made the black-armored youth chasing him frown. Your Majesty, the target is moving and has reached sub-light speed, is heading in the complete opposite direction. Even if we chase at the same speed, we can only get close slowly through angles. It would probably take a long time to catch him. The prerequisite is that he doesn't know we are chasing him. An underling said. The black-armored youth shook his head. This human is lucky, let's give up. There are many other powerful warriors on the main continent. Yes. The blade ship swiftly decreased its speed and headed in its original direction. Hence, the two ships got further away from each other. Luo Feng sat in his control room and wielded his blood shadow blade, rubbing it and saying softly, the weaker ones shouldn't mess with the stronger ones. More haste and less speed. My scanner is weaker than the enemy's, and I'm unable to use my strongest card. I'm also oblivious to the enemy. An enemy with such a scanner must be one with some background. If I fight now, I probably can't win. It would be a tragedy. He shook his head. Bear with it. Since he's come to the main continent, and from where he's headed, it's obviously towards the deep regions of the main continent. He's here to explore the continent. It would take over 3 months from here to the closest travel point, and my return to the camp would take less than 4 months before I return here. Unless he's dumb enough to come here and return immediately. Otherwise, even with my trip back and forth from the camp, I should still be able to find him. Luo Feng confirmed. Anyone that came to the main continent, as long as they didn't fall, would at least stay for hundreds if not tens of thousands of years. And that enemy had obviously just come to the main continent. From where it was headed, it was obvious that it was towards deeper regions of the continent. The continent was vast. The moment one flew it, it would take a few years to circle around it. Even from far, I can still feel the treasure. When I return, I should be able to clearly feel his position. Back to the camp. Even though he was unwilling, he could only bear with it. Everything would have to wait till he returned from the camp. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Flying straight to the travel point from the main continent and later traveling straight to the 26th camp. It took over 3 months for this return. The camp. The disc-shaped ship was like a bead of sand. The camp itself was like a huge planet. Luo Feng gazed at the camp. The malevolent war machine was larger than a sun with a diameter of over 1 million kilometers. It was a pinnacle AAA god base, and its colorful energy barrier surrounded it. Its malevolent ancient-looking cannon had complex engravings around its barrel. It made Luo Feng shudder within. It was a perfect piece of art. Soldier Luo Feng, your ship will now be controlled by the camp. Do not resist. If you resist, you will be attacked and the consequences will be deadly. As the ship got close, it was forcefully taken over by the camp. The ship was brought to a pathway into the base, following the pathways for a while before it entered a huge hall. Luo Feng had returned to the camp. Welcome back, soldier. A silver-uniformed human worker smiled and welcomed Luo Feng from the cabin door. Did you choose to retire or come back to rest? Rest. Luo Feng waved his hand and kept the ship in his world ring. Follow me. The worker smiled. Luo Feng followed. The worker said, as a free soldier, you have no need to follow the arrangements of the army, you can choose when you want to return to battle or rest. You can also choose to bring an army or not, however. It is rare to see a lone wolf in the outer region wars. I don't like it crowded. Luo Feng glanced at him. The worker smiled, the two of them became beams of light, and quickly reached tens of thousands of kilometers away. The left end is the entertainment region, restaurants, and gathering, as all sorts of entertainment can be found there. Ahead is where the free soldiers live. Their living arrangements are much better. He said. You should have been arranged a place, just retrieve the number given to you and head over. As for entertainment, you can head to the left. If you want to head back out, you can follow this path. Luo Feng nodded. Then I won't be bothering you. The worker was very respectful as he left. Luo Feng glanced ahead. Not bad. Luo Feng complimented. Tens of thousands of kilometers ahead, there was a mountain range with rivers and trees, along with some snowy and sandy areas. This was the top-class living quarters of the camp, and it was almost just like a holiday on a planet. To a base with a diameter exceeding millions of kilometers, such a space was easy to make. Luo Feng's quarters was an island in the middle of a lake. Soldier Luo Feng, this island is your private quarters. While you stay here, no one else is allowed to enter the island. The beautiful island became his private territory. Luo Feng walked on the gentle sand and he was satisfied. Hey! He suddenly heard a loud shout. Luo Feng turned to look. In a distant island, there was an undying human, dressed in loose long robes, covered in green fur and walking barefoot on the sand. Even though he was far, both had vision capable of seeing each grain of sand on their islands. The green furry man smiled and said, I'm called Kutuor, welcome neighbor. I'm called Yang. Luo Feng smiled. Yang, are you a pinnacle official or emperor? The distant Kutuor smiled. Luo Feng was curious, why are you asking this? Ha, these private spaces are for the free soldiers. However, they all have different living quarters. Some have normal spots, while others have more luxurious places such as villas. To have an island by yourself or a mountain peak, these are the top-class quarters. Normally only those with high contribution points have the right to live here. They are normally emperors, however from the energy you give off, you seem to be pinnacle official. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh. Right? His contribution points were mostly brought in by the golden horned beast. Hence, he did earn quite a bit. Being given this place, he belonged in the place of an emperor. The human body with the Shogwu wings gave off the energy of a pinnacle official. Almost an emperor. Luo Feng said, however I haven't gotten my ranking. Ha, looks like you've had some growth in the outer region wars. I, Kutuor, am known as the Explosion Emperor. The distant green fur man smiled. Nice to meet you. I have some matters to attend to. Once I'm done, let's go grab a drink together. Luo Feng smiled. All right. The man smiled back. The strong were as such, they would normally befriend others of the same level, and the arrangement by the army naturally gave the strong extra encounters too. Luo Feng entered his own living quarters. This was a very special place. The island took up an area of 1.2 cubic kilometer. The island itself had some 1 or 2 leveled ancient constructs, and surrounding these were ancient statues. One could also locate a few azure rivers. It's a good holiday spot. Luo Feng kept the armor and changed to his underpants, and jumped into the warm river. Lying within felt very comfortable. Time to study the goods. Within the world ring. Moshe Luo Feng wore a black robe, and stood before the huge broken pyramid. That automaton warrior sure was wealthy. However, this ship should be considered his top treasure, otherwise he wouldn't even bother to chase me. Black-clothed Luo Feng followed the slit in the pyramid, and entered the ship, after which he carefully examined each cabin. Barbata! He shouted, with a wave, robots appeared within the walkway. Arrange for a careful examination of the ship, he ordered. Leave it to me. A robot replied. The many robots immediately dispersed about. Black-clothed Luo Feng stood before a short G-grade automaton puppet. This was the only G-grade puppet in the entire ship. However, after the attack from the Million Bug Army, even though its body wasn't fully destroyed, its core within was completely shattered. This was after all an attack that would kill even the golden horned beast, much less an automaton puppet. This G-grade puppet, just its metal body alone is worth quite a bit, he muttered. With a sweep of his world energy, he checked all the items on it, quickly discovering the world ring. This should be where the large automaton puppet army is kept. This world ring was controlled by a G-grade automaton puppet. Hence, it didn't have any spirit imprint, and it was considered a free ring. Black-clothed Luo Feng immediately used his world energy to scan within. Ha ha. He smiled. Indeed, there are 1 million automaton puppets, and all of them are F9 grade, and are in perfect condition. He had already acquired 530,000 puppets before. However, they had their cores damaged by the golden horned beast's attack. The ones in this ring, however, were in perfect condition. Luo Feng, Luo Feng. A 1.5 m tall youth Barbata ran over. Barbata. Luo Feng glanced over. Barbata was a living AI, hence it could easily control an automaton puppet body. Back then, the master of the Yunmo planet, Huyangbo, had given him a similar body. However, the usage of a metal body was very normal, it didn't help his abilities much. The evolution of a living AI was very hard, unless one acquired an evolution heart and absorbed it, melding the AI with their body. Only then would the two be fully fused. Almost like a soul to its body. The living AI would then have a precious living body, and would be able to grow and evolve. After fully melding with their body, they would feel the universe laws much clearer, at least akin to a normal human warrior. And those without the ability to evolve, like Barbata, may train their comprehension. But even after 1 trillion years, they could never ever become undying. Only with the evolution heart will one truly have the ability to become a powerful automaton warrior. As training progresses, the automaton's body will keep strengthening, and the flexibility and sturdiness will improve, almost like a flesh and blood body. Hence the evolution heart was very important. It couldn't be helped. The evolution heart was something only the automaton race had. This was their most important treasure, hence their control on the evolution heart itself was very strict, forbidding anyone from ever selling it. This rule is embedded deep within their core. They may be able to produce many evolution hearts to nurture warriors, however they would never sell a single one, even at a huge price. This made it extremely hard for humans, demons and so on to get their hands on the evolution hearts. The difficulty was simply too high. This was something only the automaton race had. Hence, every evolution heart was priced above 10 billion mixed elements. This was akin to an emperor's entire wealth. This means, unless one truly wanted to make their living AI their life or death partner, or one was an absolute warrior with huge wealth, they wouldn't be able to afford the evolution heart. Barbata currently didn't even think about it, it had never had one before, he was satisfied with a metal body. Luo Feng, don't ever forcefully try and hack the perfect F9 puppets. Barbata shouted. The black-clothed Luo Feng looked down at the youth Barbata. The perfect condition puppets all have defensive abilities. If they are forcefully hacked, they will self-destruct. Barbata said. The automaton warrior is extremely far from us right now. He's unable to control these puppets, however if they are attacked and they self-destruct, they'd become worthless. There's no way to control them? Luo Feng asked. Of course there is, but my hacking ability is not sufficient. Barbata smiled, hence there's no need to forcefully attack them. Just scan their insides and sell them. The virtual universe company would naturally have the ability to easily hack them, we just have to pay a small sum. Luo Feng nodded. This hacking, it was better left to the professionals. How is it, is the scan complete? Luo Feng looked at Barbata. Barbata nodded. Completed, There are 4 types of items in this broken ship. The first item is the ship itself. This F9 ship is equipped with an extremely powerful defense energy barrier. It's slightly more powerful than the Yunmo planet ship. It's a pity that the attack before had destroyed it. It's been ripped apart. It's mostly only worth its weight in F9 metal now. Its entire price would still be about 5 million mixed elements. The second item is the G-grade puppet. This puppet may not be huge, but it's still G-grade, and its quality is still much better than your blade and shield. It should be worth about 20 million mixed elements. The third is the cores you'll get from the 530,000 damaged puppets, along with the 1 million good condition puppets. The price of that would be worth about 800 million mixed elements. The fourth item is the most valuable. It's the most valuable apparatus within the control room. The apparatus are all made of G-grade and F-grade metals. Their energy system is incredibly complex. I don't even dare scan it. However, just the metal from the apparatus alone would be worth over 500 million, of which the technology and other abilities are even more complex. They are probably worth much more. As for how high, I have no way to confirm. Just these 4 items. The entire price must be extremely high, at least more than the goods you've accumulated over these 1,000 years. The total sum of your 1,000 years here would only be worth about 100 million mixed elements. This is far from this ship's value. Luo Feng nodded and laughed. It was time for the harvest. It was definitely worth it to fight against those with background. He had only acquired a single ship, yet his rewards were that huge. The wealth of that automaton warrior did give him a shock. How do I sell this though? Luo Feng pondered. I'll advise you to first get an estimate from the virtual universe company. Barbata said. Luo Feng nodded. He first scanned through all the items and made records of them before simulating them in the virtual universe. Within the virtual universe primal region, Luo Feng's villa. Your Majesty Luo Feng, it's an honor to meet you. To receive an invite from you really makes me, Nuo Sai Wuxi honored. A green-robed fat undying with 2 fish eyes bowed low to display his respect to Luo Feng. Luo Feng was the primal chaos city leader's disciple. Naturally his position was extremely high. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled. Look. Luo Feng pointed to the land beside. On it was a broken pyramid ship. This was completely simulated. This is? The Undying asked curiously. This is my spoils of war. I'd like to ask, as the purchasing head of the company, what price can you give me? Luo Feng asked. The virtual universe company naturally had a purchasing department. They normally let their AIS handle the deals. The higher value deals however were run by the internal members. Nuo Sai Wu was one of the main managers of this department. He normally dealt with emperors. The ship is damaged. It should be worth a few million mixed elements. He said casually. Having frequently dealt with emperors, he didn't care about such low numbers. The true goods are inside. Luo Feng smiled. Follow me. Nuo Sai Wu was shocked. He was curious about this disciple of the primal chaos city leader. He entered the broken pyramid along with Luo Feng. This is an automaton ship, and one from a warrior with quite some background. Nuo Wu Sai looked at the decor within, smiling as he passed judgment. When he first saw the G-grade puppet, he nodded and complimented. G-grade puppet, its metal alone is worth 20 million mixed elements. These are the 1.52 million puppets I collected, of which 530,000 are damaged while 1 million of them are still fine. These are the damaged ones and the perfect ones. This is the most valuable apparatus I acquired. It's able to set up a powerful space that can even trap an emperor. After the viewing, Nuo Wu Sai was shocked, because even an emperor usually only had a wealth of only about 10 billion mixed elements. They would hardly have a deal worth tens of billions. The automaton puppets are only slightly damaged, only their energy cores have been shattered. Since their important parts are still fine, they only require light repairs. The 1.53 million puppets are exceptional goods even amongst the F9 items. They'd be worth a few hundred mix elements each. The cost of building them within humanity is much higher. On average they'd require about 1,000 mixed element each. Hence I can give you a price of 1.5 billion mixed elements. Of course. The most valuable items is the apparatus. This batch uses extremely good materials, and the most important thing is their usage. This is considered top class even within the automaton race. A knight-level warrior probably spent quite a bit of energy to create them. To get an automaton knight to build something like that, it's worth a lot, but it's a pity this is only a part of it. As for the apparatus, I can give you a price of 3 billion mixed elements. Nuo Sai Wu finally gave Luo Feng the estimates. Including all the other little items, I can raise them slightly higher. I'll give you a total price of 4.6 billion mixed elements. He smiled. I'm normally not this generous with normal emperors. 4.6 billion mixed elements. Luo Feng was surprised. Thanks, I'll think about it. Luo Feng said. Ha ha, no rush. If you wish to sell them, you can find me anytime. Nuo Sai Wu smiled. Your Majesty's rewards are huge, especially the apparatus. However, if you could get the complete set made by that night, it would be worth a lot more. Luo Feng nodded. Nuo Sai Wu left. Ha ha, even the virtual universe company is willing to fork out 4.6 billion. Luo Feng smiled. This sure is worth a lot. That automaton warrior must really have some background. Not bad. Barbata smiled. Fighting a powerful enemy brings bigger rewards. Fortune and disaster go hand in hand after all. This is fortune. How can this be a disaster? Luo Feng smiled. Right now, I'm wondering how to get a higher price, and through what means should I go through? What was the best way to get the highest price for his goods? I'll have to rely on the network. He searched for information on how to sell stuff, reading each article carefully. Hom Alliance. Luo Feng looked at the screen and frowned. According to this, the rarest and most valuable items in humanity are normally dealt within the Hong Alliance. These treasures are only circulated within the large number of powerful warriors in this alliance, and only they can give a true high price. However, I've not been invited into the alliance. After thinking for a while, he immediately contacted his teacher Tru Yang. A gold-armored ape appeared in the screen. It was Tru Yang. His eyes were like lightning as they looked at Luo Feng. He laughed and said, "My dear disciple, why have you contacted me?" "Teacher," Luo Feng said respectfully, "I have a favor to ask of you." "Speak." Tru Yang smiled. "It's like this." Luo Feng swiftly said. "I acquired some valuable items in the Outer Region Wars, however I don't wish to simply sell them to the virtual universe company's buying department. I want to get your help, to help me sell them to the Hong Alliance." Tru Yang frowned. "Sending to the Hong Alliance to sell?" Luo Feng nodded. "The Hong Alliance isn't ordinary at all," Tru Yang warned. "They are a huge alliance formed mainly by humans with other powerful warriors from other races. One has to at least be emperor level to become a member. Even for the staff position, many warriors are fighting to send their sector lords and undyings. There, countless powerful warriors are gathered within. Deals are a normal thing. I, Tru Yang, do indeed know many warriors within. It's not that I can't help you. I only have one request, and that is that it has to be valuable. Otherwise, I'd simply lose my reputation." Tru Yang said. "What is considered a treasure?" Luo Feng asked. "Worth at least 1 billion mixed elements and up," he replied. "If it's not even worth that much, don't make me lose my face." "Teacher, this is the detailed information about my goods. I'll send it to you." Luo Feng sent a mail. "These goods, the buying department of the company offered me 4.6 billion mixed elements." 4.6 billion. Tru Yang was shocked, staring hard at his disciple. "The company will definitely give you the lowest price possible, yet that alone is worth 4.6 billion. My disciple, just who did you steal from, earning the wealth of an emperor like that?" Luo Feng smiled. Tru Yang began to look through the information. He, an automaton knight created this special weapon. This is worth a lot. Tru Yang nodded. My disciple, leave it to me, I will sell it at a high price. Ha ha. I was wise to have you as my student, your treasure-earning ability is 3 times that of your third senior. Luo Feng smiled. The fastest this would take is half a day, slowest 3 to 5 days, just wait for my call. Tru Yang disconnected and went to carry out the favor. Actually, dealing in such big deals did give one a sense of achievement. Tru Yang had spent countless years in Primal Chaos City, he hardly ever had such dealings. He was happy to actually work with such a deal with the Hong Alliance, going through his connections to get a high price. Luo Feng currently had 2 teachers, Tru Yang and the Primal Chaos City leader. Luo Feng had spent a long time with Tru Yang. Since Tru Yang's character was straightforward, Luo Feng always felt relaxed and friendly with him. With the city leader, however, he felt extreme pressure, he had to always maintain full respect. Hence, for certain matters, Luo Feng would rather look for Tru Yang rather than bother the city leader. Unless it was a huge matter, he didn't dare disturb the leader. Slowest would be 3 to 5 days. Luo Feng sat before his desk and gently tapped the screen. Then I shall do some studying on scanners. Detailed information and numbers appeared. SFRET 01102983, scanning area of 1 billion km in diameter. It requires 5 million points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. SFRET 01102983, scanning area 300 million km in diameter. Requires 4 million points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. STU 01000001, scanning area 1 billion km in diameter. Requires 50 billion points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. STU 02000001, scanning area of 300 million km in diameter. Requires 40 billion points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. A111-192039, scanning area 100 km in diameter. Requires 1 million points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. A112-192039, scanning area 20 km in diameter. Requires 800,000 points, lowest discount 5%, highest 10%, you get 6%. The scanners were mostly separated into 2 kinds. One was with large areas, normally about 100 million kilometers, 300 million kilometers, and 1 billion kilometers in diameter. The better it was, the more area one would be able to see, like the 300 million and 1 billion kilometers types. The other type was the small area. Normally with diameters of 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and 100 kilometers. The higher ones were 20 kilometers and 100 kilometers. The large ones could scan ships from far, it was easier to set up. The small ones were normally for universe secret regions, it scanned small areas extremely well. As its area was small, it could do a higher level scan. Luo Feng continued to read through the information. The many high-level scanners were usually not available even to Primal Region members. Luo Feng, however, was able to see everything, but he couldn't even afford them. When he saw they required 10 billion points, or even 100 billion, he could only stare wide-eyed. Absurd prices. Even with my discount, I still can't afford it. Luo Feng pondered, what grade should I buy this time? 10 million points level. Over 100 million points level. Billion points. Back when he bought his scanner in Primal Chaos City, he had no experience whatsoever. He purely looked at some information about scanners used in the Outer Region Wars and bought one. However, having been here for over 1,000 years and suffered some losses, he knew exactly what he needed. I am too stupid. There's no need to have a 1 billion kilometer diameter scanner. I just need a 300 million kilometer area. I'll also buy a specialized small area scanner, it'll serve me better when I am closer. The 2 scanner would complement each other when both were used. For the large area, I have 2 choices. One of them is for 2 billion points, the higher level one is 6 billion points. As for the small one, I'll have to spend quite a bit too. He thought. Let's see how much teacher can bring in from my goods. Luo Feng had many things he wanted to buy. The most pressing being the scanner. He also wanted to nurture the cloud contact vine and other items. However, they all needed money. Couture. Yang. A black-armored Luo Feng with black wings on his back lifted his wine glass with the green-armored and furry man. Yang, how are your rewards? Couture asked. Normal, you should know too, that official level undyings all have undying bodies, killing every one of them is extremely hard. Luo Feng lifted his glass. I only killed about 100 officials over the last 1,000 years. All of them were mostly low officials, while there were very few high officials, and that is still lucky. The points take too long to accumulate. It's very hard to kill undying bodies. The furry man put down his glass angrily, shaking his head. I'm also at Emperor level, the pinnacle officials are obviously weaker than me, and yet I cannot do anything about them. Killing 100 officials over 1,000 years is not bad already. It's even better than me, right? Where are you situated? Yangji continent. Luo Feng replied. Yangji continent. Couture stared. You are already Emperor level, yet you are still there. You can come to Star Tower already, I'm right there. The most dangerous place in the 7th battlefield. Luo Feng smiled. There were several extremely dangerous places in the 7th battlefield, the closest from the 26th camp was Star Tower. Even though it's dangerous, it's full of encounters. Couture advised, whenever you head over, let's work together. Couture. Couture. 3 voices resounded and 3 silhouettes walked over, the formless pressure they emanated was terrifying. Even though the restaurant was huge, the other normal undyings and officials all naturally stayed away from this region, because the undyings here were all emperors. Ha! Couture waved his hand and said to Luo Feng, these 3 are my comrades in Star Tower. I've explored the areas with them, let me introduce you. Luo Feng nodded. Come, I'll introduce you all to my new friend Yang. Couture shouted to the 3 emperors. Luo Feng waited patiently within the 26th camp for his teacher's answer, while making friends with the emperors within. On the 3rd day, Tru Yang finally contacted Luo Feng. At dawn, mist engulfed the river. On an island within, Luo Feng lay within the hot springs, and was relaxing his body, when Tru Yang suddenly contacted him. Hurry over to my palace on Lightning Island. Yes, teacher. Virtual Universe Lightning Island. Countless undyings within the Virtual Universe company stayed here. Tru Yang's palace was one of them. Your Majesty, his lord is within. A guide showed Luo Feng the way. My disciple, hurry in. Tru Yang's voice boomed from within. Luo Feng immediately entered. With a glance, 3 warriors were sitting around a table within. One of them was Tru Yang, another had feathered wings and gold eyes, while the last one was a huge silhouette, almost like black mud. Teacher. Luo Feng shouted respectfully as he entered. Tru Yang smiled, let me introduce you. These are other race warriors. This is Desire Emperor, and this is Blackheart Emperor. Tru Yang pointed at the feathered warrior, and then the black mud-like warrior. All of them wore a smile, of which the feathered warrior Desire Emperor smiled and said, this is your disciple Tru Yang, and the disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader. Tru Yang, you don't have to introduce him, his reputation is quite widespread. The black mud-like warrior nodded. Disciple, sit. Tru Yang pointed at the chair beside. Yes. Luo Feng sat down. I've already arranged everything for you. Tru Yang explained, the grade puppet and the 1.53 million puppets will all go to Desire Emperor. That apparatus will go to Blackheart Emperor. The prices have been set. Desire Emperor is willing to give you 1.8 billion mixed elements. Blackheart Emperor is willing to give you 4.3 billion. Luo Feng nodded within. The automaton puppets were easily accessible to such powerful warriors. The virtual universe company was willing to give him 1.5 billion, the highest it could go would probably be about 2 billion. Hence, 1.8 billion was already very high, the puppets were after all common items. The 9 absolute God country apparatus, however, was a rare item. Although it wasn't worth much to people uninterested in the automaton weapons, to the collectors, however, it was a true treasure. They could dissect it and carefully analyze it, studying their methods. Luo Feng. Black Heart Emperor said, "Do you know anything about this apparatus? This is one portion of the device used to set up the 9 absolute God country." Luo Feng immediately explained. When set up, even a pinnacle emperor would be trapped within, and combined with the special automaton puppets within, it can unleash several special attacks. Its power is absolute. Black Heart Emperor's eyes gleamed, nodding as he smiled. Trap. Attacks. Let's immediately begin the exchange then. All right. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng discussed with the 2 emperors and swiftly confirmed their method of exchange, using the virtual universe company as the middleman to deliver the goods and confirm the exchange. The commission for such a deal would usually have a high of 1,000 mixed elements max, lowest being 1 mixed element. For such a deal, as both Blackheart Emperor and Desire Emperor were both outside humanity's territories, both deals were charged 100 mixed elements as commission. Compared to the deal involving 6.1 billion mixed elements, this was nothing. After the deal was settled, both emperors were interested in getting along with the primal chaos city leader's disciple. They were after all races subservient to humanity. Even as generals for humanity, they mostly used mixed elements as their currency. Since humanity has such a large influence on them, a being such as the city leader was looked up to and worshipped by them too. It was a pleasure for them to talk to Luo Feng. They chatted and ate. During the banquet, a team from the company in reality went to collect the goods from Luo Feng. The goods were confirmed. Blackheart Emperor and Desire Emperor naturally transferred the funds. After the banquet, Desire Emperor suddenly stood up as he was discussing his experiences in the secret region. "What's the matter?" Blackheart Emperor and Truyang both looked at him shocked. Luo Feng was curious too. The Hong Alliance has opened a Blood River crystal auction. It will begin immediately. Desire Emperor said softly, his eyes suppressing his excitement. Blood River crystal auction. The other 2 emperors were shocked. "We'll see if I can get any this time." Desire Emperor's eyes were filled with anticipation, after which he smiled. "Truyang, you are already pinnacle emperor, almost akin to a knight. Don't fight with us for the crystals. Blood River crystals are effective even for knights, why shouldn't I fight for them?" Truyang mocked. "Bring it. Anyway, there will be many others." Desire Emperor shook his head. "Let's go participate in the auction." "You 2 go on ahead," Truyang said. "Luo Feng will be leaving first." The 2 emperors said their goodbyes and rushed off, vanishing from the hall. Only Truyang and Luo Feng were left behind. "Teacher, what's with the auction for Blood River crystals? I remember they are banned items, banned from deals, auctions etc." Luo Feng asked. "Right, you've been to Blood River continent." Truyang smiled and nodded. "You must remember one thing, anything that is banned is all only relative. Even the most valuable items, they may be banned for sector lords, but the Undyings can still make deals. If they are banned for Undyings, the knights may still exchange them freely. The term ban is only relative to different levels." Luo Feng nodded. "Right. It was as such. Hong Alliance is an alliance led by humans with many other races, naturally many valuable items will appear." Truyang said. "The Blood River crystals?" Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. Absorbing them was extremely hard. A human absorbing 10 crystals was already unbelievable. What would be the benefit of auctioning them? Why are even the knights fighting for the crystals? Luo Feng asked. "Absorbing them is extremely hard." "Of course it's hard. At sector lord level, the body's genetics are evolved to its limit. A human absorbing 10 crystals is already unbelievable." Truyang laughed loudly. "However, the crystals, These are condensed crystals of the beast god's essence, they are crystals of its blood. The beast god is a being akin to a knight, and as a powerful natural beast of the universe, with gold and space infused within its body, the crystals wonders. Do you think there'd simply be just one way to absorb them? Luo Feng was stunned. So that was it, the crystals were essences, condensed blood of the beast god. The crystals have many uses, with huge benefits even to the knights. Tru Yang nodded. However, humanity's upper echelon has a strict control on these important items, usually only supplying them to the strongest. Hence very rarely would there be a few blood river crystals circulating to be auctioned. These crystals are important treasures to any blood and flesh life form. Every 100 crystals form a unit, because 100 of them can form one drop of the beast god's blood. Tru Yang said. However, I'm currently at the Emperor Pinnacle level. What I lack is the law comprehension, external treasures are useless to me. Hence, I won't bother fighting for them. Tru Yang smiled, when I become a knight, I'd probably have to go fight for some too. Haha, the Blood River Crystal auctions normally attract many powerful warriors, I'll head over just to join in the fun. You should return. Luo Feng replied, yes teacher. Tru Yang vanished from the hall. Blood River Crystal. 100 of them can be condensed into one drop of the beast god's blood. Luo Feng muttered. A true treasure to any flesh and blood life form, one that even knights will fight for. Damn. Back then, the Virtual Universe Company gave us universe-level punks a low price of 600 points for one crystal. Luo Feng smiled weirdly. Shaking his head, seems right, we were simply universe-level punks, they needn't give us too high a price. To them, they already gave us a chance to acquire the crystals. How would the little punks know that these crystals were incredibly important treasures to the emperors and knights? Luo Feng vanished too. 100 crystals could be condensed into a drop of the beast god's blood, and it was hard for the universe-level geniuses to acquire even a few of them. Luo Feng, who was supposed to be a universe level, had a powerful domain lord clone proficient in assassination, the Mosha body. This was too rare. And back then, he had used the Mosha body to steal close to 10,000 crystals. Back then, facing the 600 points per crystal price, he fought hard against his desire for more points. He was sure that these crystals were true treasures, and that he shouldn't sell them. Haha, I never would have expected the uses and benefits of the crystals would be that important in the future. Luo Feng walked out of the hot springs. The water flowed off his body, the chill from the air made him comfortable. He casually lay in a chair. The more he thought of it, the happier he got. He was wise to keep all the crystals, this was a fortune. Right? Back then my universe-level human body only absorbed 3 crystals. Now that I'm Sector Lord Pinnacle, and I'm trained in the Nameless Manual, my cells have evolved. Luo Feng thought. It's time to try absorbing the crystals again. It had been many years since he last tried. As it was too hard to simply absorb the 3 crystals last time, with the Black Warrior, even a being, a legend within the history of Blood River Continent, he always thought he would never reach 10 crystals. And without reaching 10 crystals, the rise in his power would be limited. Hence, he never gave it another shot, just like that, a few thousand years had passed. This video will end here.